Mary Anning sold monsters to men who took the credit. In the early 19th century, the cliffs of Lyme Regis were collapsing into the sea. When they fell, they exposed something no one expected. Skeletons, not of animals anyone recognized. Long jaws filled with teeth, necks longer than bodies, flippers instead of legs. These were not curiosities. They were animals that should not have existed, according to everything science thought it knew at the time. And the person pulling them out of the rock was not a gentleman scientist. It was a teenage girl from a poor family, working against the tide, the weather, and gravity itself. Her name was Mary Anning, and nearly every major marine reptile discovered in Britain during her lifetime passed through her hands first. Mary Anning was born in 1799 in Lyme Regis, a small coastal town in Dorset. The cliffs surrounding the town are made of layered sedimentary rock formed during the Jurassic period. These layers are unstable. Rain, frost, and tides regularly cause sections of cliff to collapse. When that happens, fossils are exposed. This made Lyme Regis dangerous. It also made it scientifically valuable. At the turn of the 19th century, fossil collecting was common in the area, but it was informal. Fossils were sold as curiosities. There was no professional paleontology yet, no standardized methods, no agreed framework for interpreting what these remains meant. Mary's father, Richard Anning, was a cabinet maker. He collected fossils from the cliffs to supplement his income and taught Mary and her brother Joseph how to spot promising rock layers, how to remove specimens without destroying them, and how to clean and prepare fossils for sale. In 1810, Richard Anning died from injuries sustained during fossil collecting. He had fallen from a cliff. His death left the family with debt and no steady income. Mary Anning was 11 years old. From that point on, fossil collecting was no longer a side activity. It was survival. In 1811, Joseph Anning found something protruding from the cliff face, a massive skull embedded in stone. Mary Anning returned to the site and began excavating. This took months. Cliff collapses were unpredictable. Winter storms increased the risk. Fossil collectors were sometimes killed when cliffs fell without warning. Mary persisted. What she uncovered was a nearly complete skeleton. It had a long spine, paddle-shaped limbs, a jaw full of teeth unlike those of any known animal. There was no existing category for it. This fossil would later be identified as an ichthyosaur. At the time, it caused immediate problems. Natural history still rested on assumptions shaped by theology. Many scholars believed species were fixed. Extinction was controversial. Some believed fossils represented animals still living in distant parts of the world. This skeleton suggested something else, an entire type of animal that no longer existed. Mary Anning sold the fossil. She had to. She did not have the money to keep it, study it, or preserve it. The fossil passed into the hands of collectors connected to scientific institutions. Descriptions were written. Interpretations were proposed. Names were assigned. Mary Anning's name appeared rarely, if at all. Here is the first structural reality that shaped her entire career. In early 19th century Britain, scientific credit did not follow discovery. It followed publication. Publication required access to learned societies, especially the Geological Society of London. The Geological Society did not admit women. Mary Anning could not attend meetings. She could not present papers. She could not publish under her own authority. She could find fossils. She could sell fossils, but she could not formally describe them. Mary Anning kept collecting, and the fossils kept getting stranger. In 1823, she discovered a skeleton unlike anything seen before. A small head, an extraordinarily long neck, a wide body, 4 flippers. It did not resemble known reptiles. It did not resemble fish. It did not resemble the ichthyosaur she had already found. This was the first nearly complete plesiosaur. When the fossil was shown to scientists, it triggered suspicion. A prominent anatomist suggested it might be a fake. This was not an absurd accusation. Fossil forgery existed. Some specimens had been assembled incorrectly or altered to increase value, but Mary Anning disagreed. She had excavated the fossil herself. She pointed out anatomical consistencies that would be extremely difficult to fake. She was correct. Further examination confirmed the fossil was genuine. The plesiosaur became one of the most important specimens in early paleontology. It forced scientists to rethink marine life in prehistoric eras. It contributed to growing acceptance of extinction and deep geological time. Mary Anning did not present this discovery. She did not author the description. She watched others debate its meaning using a fossil she had pulled from the rock. By this point, Mary Anning was widely known among geologists, not publicly, privately. Scientists traveled to Lyme Regis to consult her. They wrote letters asking her opinions. They relied on her judgment to assess new finds. But formal credit remained elsewhere. Mary Anning discovered fossil fish that became central to comparative anatomy. She identified coprolites and recognized that they were fossilized feces, helping establish that fossils could reveal behavior and diet, not just structure. She corrected published reconstructions when bones were misidentified or assembled incorrectly. Her corrections were often accepted. Quietly, the pattern repeated. Mary Anning found the fossils. Collectors bought them, institutions acquired them, scientists published descriptions. Those publications established priority. Priority established reputation. This was not plagiarism. It was the standard structure of science at the time. Discovery alone did not create authority. Interpretation did. Despite her reputation, Mary Anning lived with financial instability. Fossil prices fluctuated. Tourism declined during economic downturns. Bad weather could prevent collecting for months. At times, members of the scientific community raised funds to support her. These were donations, not employment, not appointments. She never held a formal scientific position. She never received a salary for her expertise. She remained dependent on the next find. Mary Anning continued collecting into the 1830s and 1840s. Her health declined. She developed breast cancer. She died in 1847 at the age of 47. At the time of her death, many of her discoveries were famous. Her name was not. In the decades that followed, paleontology became more professionalized. Institutions stabilized. Methods standardized. Historians began tracing specimens back to their origins. And when they did, the same name kept appearing. Mary Anning. Many of the men who published descriptions based on her finds faded into obscurity. The fossils did not. They remain in museum collections. They continue to be studied. They continue to define early paleontology. Mary Anning did not lack knowledge. She lacked access. She did not control publication. She did not control naming. She did not control classification. Those functions determined credit. Her role is now reconstructed by following the fossils themselves. Who found them? Who sold them? Who published them? The trail keeps leading back to the same place, the cliffs of Lyme Regis, and a woman pulling monsters out of the ground while science decided what to call them. If this made you pause, you might want to follow.